Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's city council meeting. We're gonna call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Roll call, please, Ann. Here.
Here. Here.
Present.
Here.
Okay, thank you for that. And we have nobody here for the invocation, so can we please take a moment of silence? Okay, if we can please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, moving on to E, agenda review.
No changes, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. We will now move on to F, public comments from the audience regarding items not on the agenda. This portion of the agenda allows an individual the opportunity to address the council on any items not on the closed session, consent calendar, public hearings, and city council business. Under state regulations, no action can be taken on non-agenda items, including issues raised under this agenda item. Members of the public should be aware of this when addressing the council regarding items not specifically referenced on the agenda. Please note, public comments may be made in the following formats: in person, through Zoom, or by email. If you wish to make a public comment through Zoom, please use the raise your hand feature during the public comment section. You will be selected by the meeting host and will be allowed to say your comment aloud. If you wish to make a public comment through email, please submit your public comment to cityclerk@ci.greenfield.ca.us. In the email subject line, please write your name and the agenda item or topic you are commenting on. If you wish to submit a public comment on more than one agenda item or topic, please send a separate email for each agenda item or topic you are commenting. All public comments submitted through email must be received no later than 12 p.m. noon on December 12th, 2022. Comments submitted through email on time will be incorporated into the city council agenda and made part of the record for the meeting. Comments submitted by email that are not received on time will not be accepted. Public comments submitted by email will not be read aloud during the meeting. Please be aware that written public comments, including your name, may become public information. So having read that, we will open up the public comments to the people here in the chambers first before we go to Zoom.
Yes, my name is Michael Bloom. I'm a resident of Greenfield, and I'd like to address the council today in the capacity of a veteran and a member of the American Legion Post 635 here in Greenfield. Within our veterans organization, we get together annually, all the veterans of the Tri-County, we call ourselves the Tremendous 28th District, to put together an annual calendar of events. We've used this in the past to help us get more efficient use of the year. So a lot of our veterans organizations, of which there are quite a few within this Tri-County area, don't work at cross purposes and get our dates and events mixed up, and therefore not get the most efficient use of the date we want in the calendar. So to that end, I have proposed to the city manager at one time, I know I talked to the mayor and I talked to a couple of council people about the idea of incorporating this into a community calendar. Now, I know the city has their sort of quote community calendar, but I'm talking a total community. The city, our churches, our service organizations such as the Rotary, the Lions, and veterans organizations, the American Legion, our VFWs, all of the entire community, anybody that has any interest in putting on events within our community, that we all get together, hopefully at the first of the year, share this information. It could be in writing, it could be by email or in person. And we have established one particular place that everyone can go for a community calendar. Everybody knows when something's happening. For the sake of the American Legion, we got caught off guard a couple of times this year. We had to come to the rescue on a few events. And most particularly was the Harvest Festival, which worked out fine. But we didn't really know about it, and the fact that we were going to be called in to participate until about 3 weeks before the event. It would have been nice to know this, the first of the year exactly when these events are coming and how long it'll be. We have to prepare for them. So this is my proposal that the city take this under consideration and the entire community take this under consideration. Having said that, I would like to wish all of you the best for the holiday seasons, and I look forward to working with all of you in the year ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
Been a
evening.
while since I've been on this side of it. First thing I'd like to bring up is, recently I was over at the intersection of Cypress and ECR. The stop sign there that everybody seems to run. I think it would behoove the community if they put those flashing red lights around the stop sign. Friday evening when I was coming back, it was kind of late. Car just about rear-ended me. He just barely got around me. Over the years on my bicycle, I've seen, I believe it's 3 or 4 accidents where people are stopped at sign. And the people, they're not aware that there's a stop sign way out there. So I think it would be a good idea if we can stop sign out there. Secondly, I'd like to congratulate you people. Congratulations. I look forward to working with you guys from the planning commission. And we have to remember that you're up there to do things for the betterment of the community, not just a small faction of the community. Make sure you keep the community informed of what's going on. I think a well-informed community is a happy community. That's my perspective anyways. Lastly, Mayor Walker. I'm gonna call you Lance. I've known Lance now for what, like 45 years? At least
Probably
that
so.
long.
Yeah.
I was Lance's little league coach years and years ago. Anyways, in your tenure here as mayor, you've done numerous things that I disagree with. That being said, I really appreciate the fact that you watch. I realize how much time it takes for the position you're in. And as we get older, our time becomes so much more valuable. My dad used to tell me, you wait, when you get old, you're gonna go to bed on Monday and you're gonna wake up at Friday. And the older I get, the smarter my dad became. So I just want to thank you. And I mean, perhaps people are gonna say that I'm being hypocritical because I criticized you in the past, but that's the right as a citizen, right? And again, Lance, thank you for all the time that you put in here.
Thank you.
And I want you to know you've always got a friend in me.
Same here. Thank you.
Thanks, Council, Laura.
Good evening.
And I don't know if it's a good thing, like, for me, right now, I'm kind of upset. A lot of you guys are coming back into our city council, that second election, and I do not see any progress to our city. there's a lot of stuff that you guys still need to, take care of, and you guys have it. But again, the simplest thing that you guys needed to take care of in the 4-year term was the city sign, the Greenfield sign, that didn't get done, and now we're going on again on another fiscal year. I asked, previously on 12th Street, these potholes, there's potholes that are larger than 3 feet, and you guys are not taking care of it. Who do we have to ask, to take care of this, if you guys are not gonna take the initiative and do something about it? There should have been contractors out there and start, building that sidewalk. You should see these poor kids walking around those holes that are filled right now with water, trying to get to school, and you guys are not doing anything about it. Our city manager is getting over 200,000 in yearly salary. Why do we have to pay so much to him when we have all these stuff going on in town and this stuff is not taken care of? If you guys didn't do it the first time, you guys just should have left your guys' seats. But let's see what difference do you guys make this 4 years in terms that you guys are gonna be doing. Hopefully it's for a better change of Greenfield, because we are very slow. Solid City are growing better than us, and we have the money, but where is it going to? The cannabis was supposed to, that money, revenue was supposed to be coming to our city, and it's not. Where is it going to? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
No, it's kind of hard to listen over there. Either I'm deaf because I'm 71 years old. I don't know what the case is, but it's hard to listen out there in the back. So I don't know if it's a mic or how we get close to the mic. I don't even know if I'm ready to give any comments. I think I'm on some of the comments I'm gonna wait just for our new, board place. Bob, you're there. Congratulations on your winning. Angela, congratulations on your winning. One thing that I wanted to say is regarding the streets, the street sweepers. I know that I emailed Mr. Wood a few times, and I think that I would appreciate at least email back, just stating, your email was received. This way I know that they are paying attention and doing what they're doing. What I'm asking, what are we gonna do? What's the use to be paying all this, sweepers when all the garbage is all over the place? I took pictures out of my area. Then I go down the other streets when I'm going to work, and the same thing. Is it the trees? Maybe some of the areas are the trees that the trucks can't get underneath. So that's something that we need to look. Potholes at Oak Avenue. Have you guys seen it? Don't wait till next year or just because it's raining and the potholes are gonna get big and etc. Those potholes have been there for a while and the water just making it worse. A lot of us don't have the money to just keep buying tires and tires. If you have weak tires, a flat, do we come over here to the city and request a tire? That would be nice. I thought that you guys will pick up that tab. And I think that's it for right now. And good luck, Mr. Walker. I know that we didn't agree on a lot of things, disappointed on a few things, but can't have 100%, on everything, right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Carlos Venegas. I am a veteran like Michael Bloom. I am a board member of the Greenfield Memorial Hall. I apologize for us not being here last month for your guys' meeting. I appreciate Mr. Wood and Bob for showing up for our meeting and presenting what they presented to our president. We're trying our best. We're one foot in front of the other. We're trying, and we're moving forward, and we're trying to bring that building back to where it's supposed to be at. And it's a long process, and it's getting there, and we're trying our hardest. The other guys couldn't be here. They all got family responsibilities and other stuff to do. So I took the initiative and be here for you for that. So thank you guys for presenting what you guys presented to us, and thank you guys for counting on us to do what we're doing over there too. Our building is the community's building, so that's what we're trying to do, make it back for the community and give back to the community, and that's what our job is. So thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Well, Mayor Walker, this is your last city council meeting. I remember meeting you for the first time around 2009, back at the old council chambers when we had 5 minutes. And what is now the science workshop. Back then, our city was in various stages of chaos. We were beginning to pull out of a year and a half of a long recession. Property values had plummeted, resulting in lost city revenue. We were experiencing an increase in violent crime, and our PD was woefully understaffed. Instead of just banging out frustrations on a keyboard, you stepped out from the sidelines and in 2012 offered your time and service by running for city council. You've been elected to office 3 times since then. In each of your campaigns, public safety was always your #1 issue. Today, the city reflects that. We've come a long way these last 10 years, and in my opinion, have the best, most responsive and community engaged police and fire departments in South Monterey County. Not once have you used your public office for self-promotion. On the contrary, you have selflessly dedicated your time and service to a city you've lived in your whole life, and with only her best interest in mind, not your own. More often than not, it's a thankless job that's not always easy. You, your council, and city staff are oftentimes subjected to criticism and blame for things that are beyond your control or misunderstood by the public. Through it all, I've watched you maintain steady and compassionate leadership without complaining. You've provided comfort to so many community members, staff, and your council colleagues during times of illnesses and personal loss. When we were faced with a worldwide pandemic, you worked with your council to shepherd the city through it without incurring severe economic or job losses, all the while trying to ease the community's anxiety, fear, and sadness for months and months. We made it through, and today the city is financially stable with steady growth, improvements, pothole repairs, increased prosperity on the horizon. So thank you, sir, for your service. Job well done, my friend. I truly wish you and Anna all the best in your future endeavors. You deserve every happiness.
Thank you.
Councilmember Tipton, thank you as well for your time on the council and before that on the planning commission. Your intellect and insight of all things engineering, technical and beyond has benefited all of us. Your advocacy and understanding of the community's infrastructure needs and protection of Greenfield's interest on your assigned boards and committees are unmatched. So thank you for your service as well. Finally, I'd like to wish the new council the best in moving us forward. And congratulations to Mayor White, Councilwoman Antoine, and incoming Councilwoman Ortiz. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Not a couple of years ago, a lot of years ago, we had this crazy idea that Lance was going to run for city council. And with the help of a lot of people here in the community, he won. And then we said, you know what, let's do it again. So we did it again. On the second time, I had a poster in my garage, one of his lawn signs in my garage, and I crossed out council member and I put mayor on it in a big black marker. I told him, this is the next step, Lance. This is what's going to happen next. And he said, well, you know, we'll see what happens. I said, no, it will happen. You know, it's what's going to happen, Lance. And sure enough, it happened. You know, Lance became mayor. It's been a real pleasure working with you. A lot of times our friendship went different directions, you know, but the friendship always remained there, you know. And I just want to say thank you. And I hope that I can rely on you for guidance. I'm probably going to need a lot of it. And, you know, I just really appreciate you. And Drew, Councilmember Tipton, sorry, I'm barely getting to know you, but I hope that I can rely on you also for guidance. And congratulations, Bob. Congratulations, Councilmember Antoine. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from anyone here in the chambers?
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm Flavio Diaz. I'm here on the behalf of Greenfield High and Greenfield Rotary. And so we are bringing up the initiative at the Greenfield High School to start a youth council. And so, well, I'm here to represent that interest, for we are trying to get on the agenda for the next meeting, which I believe is January 10th after the holidays. And so, we'd like to be on the agenda for that coming meeting, so we can give a full representation and have your full support, and starting this youth council to get the community and its younger generation involved in any and all projects you guys want more feedback from. Thank you.
Thank you. I see no more comments here, so we'll go to Zoom. Do we have anybody? I see a hand raised.
Gabby Cerato.
Good evening, council members. I just wanted to come in here and say, thank you for being here and being able to listen to community members with open hearts and open ears and really being open-minded. I had the investigation already completed, I think 2 weeks ago. I'm a very assertive woman. I mean, again, I went to Cal State LA and was a union organizer, community organizer. So I know when I talk and I speak, it's always, with that hat on, like I know helping my mom, again, it's not political, it's very personal. And I rarely talk about my feelings because, again, I have that background. But, it's the end of the year, Christmas, New Year, and I just hope that, once this investigation is over, again, out of this story, it's my mom, seeing my mom, stressed, seeing her like do the investigation was really hard for me to hear her. So like her anxiety, her like fear and everything, it was very hard for me. And again, I just really hope that in the new year, things get resolved. And what I'm asking for is once the investigation is over, is for, transparency from the city council. And, when it comes out, I want accountability. And what I would like is, again, like real consequences. If I'm right now working in mental health, if I use my case manager position to cause harm to my clients, I would be fired. And I know that this is a voluntary position, but I think that consequences of her councilwoman's behavior needs to be held accountable, and she needs to be the example that you will not tolerate any kind of misuse of power or bullying. So again, I close the new year with hope that and that everything is done correctly and the truth will come out. And I, again, welcome the new member, and I hope to continue to advocate for my mother because, again, I just want justice. I want people that are there to hold themselves to a higher moral and justice, lens. And I hope that the new council could bring that justice. So thank you so much. And I hope you guys have a wonderful new year. And thank you for your service.
Thank you. I see no more hands raised via the Zoom. So I'll bring it back to anybody else here in the chambers. If you want to make a comment, now's the time to do it. See none, we will close out public comments. And we will move on to G, comments from City Council. Mayor White.
All right.
Mayor White.
Thank you, Lance. This is the last time I get to go first here, Lance, so it'll be interesting from now on. I attended the career day at Mary Chop Academy, spoke in the second and third grade classrooms on November the 18th. If you ever get the opportunity to be involved, I highly recommend participating. The students have a lot of funny questions. A couple of my favorites were my favorite color and my favorite store. But they also asked some really good questions too, like, do I enjoy my job and different things like that. So if you get a chance, participate. I, as a member of Rotary, worked at the food bank on November the 22nd. It was an important reminder that our community needs are great. If you're looking for a worthy cause to support, Food Bank of Monterey County is very efficient with their cash donations. 95% of all donations go directly to the food assistance program. So if you're looking for something really efficient. Also, City Manager Wood, if we could look into maybe getting Greenfield allocation from the food bank increased, that would be great. I understand there were some people who were turned away at the last giveaway, and we don't want that. That's especially this time of the year, the needs are really great. So I would love to see that number increase. I'm sure you noticed the donation box out in the lobby of the City Hall. Greenfield Rotary, along with Evelina Torres, is having our annual coat drive. Donate if you can. The coats are then distributed to the homeless and throughout Monterey County. So I want to thank the Greenfield Memorial District Board for inviting City Manager Paul Wood and myself to their December 6th meeting. We thank them for all they do in the community, and Fire Chief Langborg delivered the resolution we passed at our last meeting. We emphasized how we would really like to work with them and expand the recreational programs to their facility. Greenfield's a small town, and that used to be a jewel of the community, and I'd like to make it that way again, if at all possible. I attended the holiday parade celebration in the park last Friday. I want to thank everyone who was involved. It was great to see the large turnout. Everyone there seemed to be having a really great time. Finally, I want to remind everyone about the senior social for those age 60 plus. December's event is tomorrow from 11 to 1 at the Memorial Hall. It's held every second Wednesday of the month. It's a luncheon along with activities to enjoy for all the seniors. So that's all I have, Lance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Martinez.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Well, first of all, good evening, everyone. Buenas noches a todos. I was looking at the city attorney, hoping that she would stop one of her members. And just to clarify, there's no investigation that has been concluded, because I just recently got an email just yesterday for an interview. So it's a still pending process. And I just wanted that clarification from legal counsel, but I will go ahead and address this now. Now moving on, because I have other better things and positive things in my life happening. And I'm excited for this young individual in the room, and hopefully you connect with Braulio, with Fabi's team, who's amazing, because I know Braulio, one of the initiatives that he wanted to do was really take the lead and have our youth council. So thank you, Rotary. I know Evelina, Bob, you guys participate in Rotary. And if you guys could really make it happen to finally have a youth council, that would be amazing. It's needed, the voice of the youth. So thank you, young man, for being here and for taking the lead. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, Councilmember White mentioned, was the whole career day at Mary Chapa. Career day at Mary Chapa, that's literally where it began, before it started being like a cool thing, before other schools started adopting career day. It started in Mary Chapa. It started with one of the amazing counselors who's no longer there, Ms. Botello. I got recognition for over 5 years of just being there, dedicating my time to speaking to the younger generations, who a lot of them are in high school now, and I get to see them when I do the career day over at the high schools. It's always just about city being there. So I really appreciate the fact that it wasn't just me. Bob, you were there. City Manager Wood was present, our amazing fire department who started with me. So they got recognition as well for over 5 years of just being active, being there. I know our amazing police department chief, Mixer, they do an amazing job constantly being there, because we do want to be a part of the conversation. And we want to welcome them and invite them to this space, because this building does technically belong to the public. So we hope that we could encourage more participation, especially from our younger generations, to be able to just come forward with many amazing ideas. I was at the Líderes Campesinas posada that they had this evening. I had to just run over. I missed the piñata and the rest of the celebration because I had to attend the council meeting. I see one of our amazing Líderes Campesinas that just walked in, so I guess the piñata's over. And they sent the council a little gift that I hope I could give to each and every one of you at the end of the meeting. They are just always very grateful about the fact that we help them, you know, when it comes to Dia del Niño and other organizations. So I'm glad, sir, that you brought that up about doing that community calendar. I know that that was one of the initiatives that we all talked about. I know Councilmember Tipton had mentioned that in the beginning as well when he came into office, is just how do we gather all that information and we stop overstepping on each other's events, or how can we collaborate with all these different agencies? So it's a must. And I know that under the leadership of Mayor White, we are going to be able to take the lead and actually do that. But more importantly, I want to thank Ms. Mireles for being here and constantly being an advocate. Seriously, bringing the issues forward when it comes to fixing the roads. I mean, we shouldn't be laughing about it. We shouldn't be rolling our eyes or thinking that this is just something to ignore. She's right. She has told me up in the dais, I accept her comments. I accept her comments even when we're out there publicly. And for that, I thank you for being vocal, Ms. Mireles. And I know that she and other members here like Isabel and Ms. Diaz, they sit in the Safe Routes to School Committee, which are currently holding their election cycle for the infrastructure that's going to be fixed within the city of Greenfield, that we, the Greenfield residents, get the chance to select 3 items, 3 specific locations that are going to be fixed. And this is not city money. This is county money that's coming into our city under TAMC, bringing that initiative forward to Greenfield. This is the first city, pilot city, that's actually encouraging this. So that's exactly what we want as a council. We want to make sure that the public takes the lead, that brings these crucial decisions forward, but again, that don't back down, that continue to hold us accountable and remind us regarding exactly like what Ms. Mireles mentioned, the street on, 12th Street, that has been a huge issue for many years. And I know that that's part of the ballot. So if you get a chance to vote, because any community Greenfield resident could do that. I think it's over 14 or 11 years of age, but you're allowed to cast your vote and select that. And they have a deadline. I just came from Patriot Park. They have their little booth right there where you could go and cast your vote. I know several schools have it, like where my daughters attend, Cesar Chavez. So make sure, community of Greenfield, that you vote for these certain locations that need that infrastructure, that money coming in. And I know that hopefully us, the council that will continue to work forward in the next couple of years, could actually match these funds and make other things happen, because yes, there's a lot of fixing that has to happen in Greenfield. And like I mentioned that day of the Safe Routes to School, Greenfield's not perfect. Soledad's not perfect. King City's not perfect. There's no city that's perfect. Every city has this little thing that makes it unique. And what makes Greenfield unique, and then I say it all the time, regardless if people like it or not, we are the heart of the valley, because each and every one of us, the council and the public, we bring forward that little piece that makes Greenfield special, and it makes it wanna continue to expand and share and grow as a family. So for that, I want to thank everybody who has brought certain crucial issues forward and continue to be here. So Ms. Mireles, thank you.
Okay, Councilmember Tipton.
Thank you. I was going to start as well with the holiday parade. It was very great to see just how many people we had involved. El Camino was literally lined all the way from here, all the way down to the gazebo park. And it was really great to see everybody coming out. It's great to see everybody having a good time. It was great to see them cheering on the fire department, the police department, the public works, getting the lawnmower driving down the street. It was all great to see. Going forward, I know I've brought this up a couple times in the past, and I've mentioned it on my Facebook page as well. I've been working with Charter the last couple of weeks to try to figure out. I know several people have reported issues. I actually spoke with one of their regional people last night, and they actually found out that there was something misconfigured here in Greenfield. So if you're still having Charter broadband issues, let me know, preferably tonight, so I can still take action on it before that. If not, just send it to me anyway. I'll make sure that that city manager Wood or somebody else follows up on that. But you should be seeing an improvement in your internet connectivity and connection speeds here. The other thing I have is from the Broadband Authority, that the city of Greenfield actually did receive a $500,000 grant to increase broadband capacity here in Greenfield. And the South County Authority actually received $2.5 million in total to help improve broadband down here. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to see it overnight, but what this is this is to provide for broadband going forward, making sure that every community member has broadband and making sure that it's effective broadband, not slow internet, not unreliable internet, but making sure that every person in all of our communities in all of South County has access to reliable internet at an affordable cost. So that's something that the Broadband Authority has been working on. And like I said, we got $2.5 million in grants to start providing for that. And we've also signed the contract for the first four strands of internet to be running down through there. And that's going to be starting in June of next year, that they're actually going to be running it. So you'll actually be seeing them out on 101, running the trenches down the middle to run some fiber down all the way down to here. And actually, that's really all I've got for right now.
Okay, thank you for that. Mayor Pro Tem Montalban.
Good evening, everyone. I got a full list tonight as well. I did want to speak on the bad viruses that are affecting our kids. The past month or so, they're really bad. It's just virus that you can't really do anything but try to control their fevers. It also comes with congestion. I know several children in my family have been affected by it. Working at the school, I see all the kids that are out missing class because they have this virus as well. The high fevers, the congestion, the cough. The flu is also going around. So protect yourself, protect your kids, vitamins, extra vitamin C, whatever you got to do, because it is pretty bad. And we only have the rest of this week to worry about them being around other children, because then starting next week, the winter break starts. So hopefully it'll die down. The virus will die down with our kids being home. But with our kids being home, it also brings me to just reminding everyone, kids are out of school. They'll probably be walking around, walking to the parks, doing that sort of thing. So just be very aware of them crossing the streets, running out in the streets, be extra cautious while driving around town. I want to talk about the winter sports going on. We have winter sports at the high school, at the middle school, and at the rec. If you have young kids that aren't doing anything, check out the rec center. They have basketball signups right now. There's other things that they can get involved with. And also, if you can, even council, check out a game at the high school, check out a game at the middle school. Just support the kids out there, doing. Thank God, I'm so happy that they're able to go back 100% with no masks. Now, last year they had masks, they would run around with masks, and it was just, they would get tired faster because of, the restricted breathing and stuff. So seeing them being able to just fully be out there and fully be doing what they love, it's incredible. I love it. I love watching it. I love being part of it as a coach myself. Let's see, what else do I have? The Toys for Tots is back in South County. I was told that they do need volunteers. I don't have all the information, but if anybody is interested in volunteering this Saturday for the Toys for Tots, please contact me via email, even on my social media platforms. That's okay. I'll get you in contact with the person that's actually running it. And because I know that they said there was a good amount of families signed up for South County, and it's being hosted here at the Memorial Hall. And they did need volunteers. Also, council, if you guys are willing to volunteer, let me know. I could get you in contact. Let's see, what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Okay, so Paul, I noticed that we haven't had the weekly managers update report. Can we start doing that again, please? And then I, as a parent, I'm still wondering why we don't accept credit or debit cards at the rec center still. I know I've mentioned this before, and Bob and I were actually speaking on it at the night of the tree lighting. We need to, keep up with the times here, and we need to be able to accept the debit cards, the credit cards, to get our kids involved in the rec programs there. I know I mentioned this maybe 2 years ago. I'd really like to see that there. It's very inconvenient as a busy mom to have to go pull out money, because I never have cash on me, and then go, sign them up and pay for it, when it would just be easy if I could just go and use my debit card. And one last thing, it's personal, but I did post this on my Facebook account. There is a fake Facebook account that is under my name with my picture going around. It is not me. So please, if you see that account, that person, whoever created it, has me blocked. So I personally can't see their account, but everybody's been screenshotting it and sending it to me. Just report it. It's ridiculous. I don't know why people feel the need to do something like that. I know back in July, someone opened a fake Facebook account under my late husband's picture with his name, and it's just very disgusting to me. So if you guys see anything like that, or come across that fake Facebook account, please just report it so it could be taken down, because I cannot report it since I don't have access to that account because they blocked me. So that's all I have for tonight. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I'm going to keep this short and sweet because I plan on speaking during I3 after the proclamations. I just want to say Christmas in the Park. We knocked it out of the park. Thank you for all that put time and effort in there. It was awesome. It was one of the best ones that we've had in a while. And just want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And from the bottom of my heart, it was an honor and a privilege to serve the town that I grew up in, was born and raised in, and I call home. So thank you very much.
And actually, I have one more thing real quick. Mayor Pro Tem Angelon mentioned this, the flu shot. I've actually spoken with a couple of people, and actually, this is the best flu shot that some of the pharmacists and doctors have seen in 20 years. They say it actually hits about 90% of the strains that are out there. So if we're kind of on the fence about going and getting your flu shot, definitely go get it. It actually does work, and it is effective this year.
Okay, thank you for that. Moving on to 8, consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered routine and may be approved by one action of the city council unless a request for removal for discussion or explanation is received prior to the time council votes on the motion to adopt. We will go out to the public on this if there's any public comments on our consent calendar. And I see there's none. And I see there's none via the Zoom. So I'll bring it back to council. Would anybody like to pull anything on this, or can I entertain a motion to?
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, consent calendar carries. Okay, city council business. I1, a resolution of the city council of the city of Greenfield canvassing and declaring the result of the general election held in the city of Greenfield on November 8th, 2022. Staff report, please.
I didn't bring it with me, but the Register of Voters certified the election November 30th, and now is the time to approve the resolution. And then once that gets approved, then we have the swearing in of the new officers.
Okay, thank you. We will go to B and open this up to the public. Any public comments here in the chambers? See none, and any hands raised? I do see.
Gabby Cerato.
Is this for the new people coming in? Is that correct? Can I give a comment?
This is basically on the election.
Oh, on the election. Well, I just want to congratulate the ones that won. Again, the people chose you and to represent Greenfield. And I really hope that you guys are representing the people and hearing concerns from the community members and not minimizing or, not giving it importance or there's a 9-minute slowdown. So thank you. 0.25 months.
Okay, thank you. And I don't see any other hands raised, so we will close out the public comments and bring it back to council comments. Review action.
I move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, none, so motion carries. Moving on to I2, the big moment, the big swearing in moment, Mayor Robert White and council members and Angela Antalan and Rachel Ortiz. The swearing in ceremony of the council members.
We could get them all three in front. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. I, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the United States, and state of California, against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I give this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duty upon which I am about to enter. Congratulations.
I will hand this over to you. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard.
Small. Somebody bring me a booster chair. Sorry. Oh, there you go.
A little bit.
I'll bring a pillow.
All right, well, thank you very much. Angela and Rachel, do you want to say anything before we start?
I would just like to thank the community for putting their trust in me for the next 4 years. And, I want honestly just to unite the community. I feel that we've become very, very divided. When I started 4 years ago, within that first year, I felt we became very united. But today I feel that we are very divided, and with a divided council, you really can't move positive forwardly. So hopefully we can find middle ground and move our community in the best way that we can together, as a team, as a unit. So looking forward to being here with all of you.
Great, thank you. Rachel?
Oh, boy. Well, I had a lot of dreams when I was a little kid, mostly that I wanted to be a detective and maybe a nurse. I never thought I'd see myself here on city council, that's for sure. Thought about a lot of other things. This is a big step for me, and I think I was able to make this decision to go ahead and run because my kids are doing well. My grandkids, great grandkids are doing really well. And it's with their support and the support of a lot of friends, my clients that I have, and my employers. They've all supported me in this decision, and it's made it a lot easier because I know it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of dedication, and I have no problem with that. I'm not really, I don't really talk a lot, despite what my nephew will say out there, but you know, I'm kind of a person, when it comes to business, I put my head down and I go to work. So I agree with Councilmember Antoine that the division needs to stop. We have to move forward. And that starts right here on the council. We have to lead by example. And I think that it's something that we're really going to have to work on. I don't think it's going to happen overnight, but I hope that it does happen. We have a city who's crying out for change, you know, and some people are actually demanding change. And it's time for us to give it to them. And so the only way we're going to be able to do that is to work together. And so I'm here for it. And thank you.
Thank you very much. I just want to say thank you to everyone who supported and encouraged me. I especially want to thank all those who allowed me to put up campaign signs on their homes and businesses. Thank you to my executive assistant, Monica Sanchez, for always listening and giving me feedback as to what was happening in the community. Thank you to my two daughters, Emily White and Madeline White, for being the strong opinionated women that you are. Your opinions help to shape me. Thank you also for your help designing, editing, and translating during the campaign. Finally, I want to thank my wife, Gail Stewart White, for your encouragement, your love, and support. Thank you for being by my side, whether working on postings, flyers, or questionnaires, or giving me that little extra push when I was ready to stop passing out flyers for the day by telling me these might be the ones to make the difference, just a few more. So thank you for everything. I couldn't have done it without you. Again, thank you to everyone. I'm honored to be serving as your mayor. Thank you. And with that, we will move to item I3. First up, Mr. Tipton. A proclamation of the City Council of the City of Greenfield honoring Councilman Andrew Drew Tipton. Whereas Drew Tipton has served as an elected member of the City Council since November 2018. And whereas these years of service have been marked by exemplary dedication to the best interests of the community, as he has worked constantly for the betterment of its economic, cultural, and aesthetic developments. And whereas he has earned the admiration and high regard of those with whom he has come into contact, and the affection of his fellow public servants. And whereas his performance of the duties and responsibilities as a member of the City Council has been characterized by excellence and constructive contributions to municipal government in our city. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the City Council of the City of Greenfield, and on behalf of all community members, does hereby express our sincere appreciation and thanks to Andrew Drew Tipton for his distinguished service to the community, and is highly commend for his manner in which he has carried out his duties and responsibilities. Signed, Robert White, Mayor of the City of Greenfield. Congratulations, Drew.
I have a few comments. So I'll actually keep it short and sweet. That was just a joke. So everybody knows I really don't say a whole lot. So, 3 minutes? I can make it in 3 minutes. Just a few words as I step down from the dais that I've actually been on for 12 years now. When I applied for the planning commissioner's seat back in 2010, and then Mayor John Huerta appointed me. Thank you, John. I never imagined it would end up like this. 8 years on the planning commission, 6 years on the fire district board of directors, and 4 years on the city council. So much has happened. The city has grown so much. We've gone through COVID. We've had cannabis come into the city. We've gotten Starbucks, AM, PM, and Carl's Jr. We've merged with the city fire department. We bought a brand new engine. We've bought in new parks. We've got the grant for the new community center. We've got the new grant that I just mentioned for improved broadband in South County. We've got a new wastewater treatment plant in the works. We've got an award-winning science workshop that wasn't here when we started. We've got improvements in the rec department. We're doing many more programs. We just had the city's 75th birthday. There's so much going on. There's so much more to come. I'm proud to have been a leader of the city and of the solid waste and broadband authorities. I see so much that has been done and so much more still to come. And I'd like to thank everyone who has had confidence in me these past years, and these people are just way too many to count. Thank you, Greenfield, and good night.
All right, up next, Mayor Walker. A proclamation of the City Council of the City of Greenfield honoring Mayor Lance Walker. Whereas Lance Walker has served as an elected member of the City Council from November 12th to November 2012 to November 2018, and served as mayor from November 8, 2018 to November 2022. And whereas these years of service have been marked by exemplary dedication to the best interest of the community, as he has worked constantly for the betterment of its economic, cultural, and aesthetic development. And whereas he has earned the admiration and high regard of those with whom he has come in contact and the affection of his fellow public servants. And whereas his performance of the duties and responsibilities as members of the city council and as mayor have been characterized by excellent and constructive contributions to municipal government in our city. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the City Council, City of Greenfield, and on behalf of all of our community members, does hereby express our sincere appreciation and thanks to Lance Walker for his distinguished service to the community, and highly commend him for his manner in which he has carried out his duties and responsibilities. Signed, Robert White, Mayor of City of Greenfield.
I'll keep it short and sweet. Try to get through this without shedding a tear. I'll try my best. Well, my time has come to say goodbye. What a ride it's been. And just like the cowboys in the movies, the good guy rides away into the sunset. And I'm going out on my terms. Thank you to my supporters and my non-supporters. In all reality, the non-supporters who constantly attacked me made me stronger and a better person. 3 campaigns, 3 victories. And had I chosen to run for mayor again, it would have been 4 campaigns and 4 victories. I could not have achieved any of this had it not been for Steph Garcia, my friend, campaign manager, and the backbone of our 3 victories. Steph, thank you very much. I'd also like to thank my family, most of all God and the faith community. 10 years, 5 councils, 2 mayors, 3 city managers, 1 interim city manager, and by far, Paul, you have been the best. By far. I'm going to miss all the city staff and department heads. You're all like family to me. Who would have ever thought as a council and a city we'd go through this COVID pandemic? But we got through it. Thanks to Paul's fabulous management and financial skills. Nobody lost a job. Nobody was out of work. You held the fort down and you were amazing. So now it's time to move on to the next chapter of my life. My future is with me, beautiful Anna Maria. Greenfield will always and forever be my hometown. Born and raised here in the heart of the valley. It's all I know. It's the only town I've lived in. And Greenfield will always be a part of me and in my heart. I'd also like to thank the voters here in Greenfield. You see, they don't vote for the color of your skin. They vote for your character and integrity. Again, a huge thank you to our voters for electing Mayor Bob White. You definitely got it right. Mayor White won by a huge margin, and he is the best person for the job moving Greenfield forward into the future. Mayor White, you're the 18th mayor of Greenfield. So congratulations. Congratulations to Councilmember Ortiz, and congratulations to Council Member Antalan. I hope and pray this council appoints the right person, someone without an agenda, someone who wants to move Greenfield in the right direction. In closing, I'd like to quote my dad. He used to always say, Lancer, you have to know when to leave the party, because you know what happens when you stay too long. So tonight, I'm leaving the party. I say goodbye. I say thank you. May God bless each and every one of you. May God bless Greenfield. Greenfield, please bless God. Adios.
I understand. Hold on, Lance. Don't leave the building. I understand there is another presentation. Is that correct?
Good night, everyone, and city council and public. My name is Isabel Mesa, and I'm here on behalf of Assembly Member Robert Rivas.
And my name is Marisa Hernandez, and I'm here on behalf of Senator Ana Caballero.
On behalf of both electeds, we would like to present our resolution to the Honorable Lance Walker. Without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and read a little bit. Whereas by serving the Greenfield City Council since winning a seat in November 2012 and being sworn in the next month, Lance Walker followed the footsteps of his father, a former member of the Greenfield City Council from the late 1980s, and from his step grandfather, who served as a member of the Greenfield City Council and as well as Mayor Pro Tem. In the 70s and in 2008, Lance took further responsibilities when he was elected as mayor at Greenfield. Resolved by Senator Ana Caballero and Assembly Member Robert Rivas, the Honorable Lance Walker be commended for his long distinguished record of leadership as a mayor of Greenfield and a member of the Greenfield City Council. Applaud him for his extraordinary public achievements and exterior sincere best wishes for his continued success in the future. Thank you so much for all of you.
And good evening again. We would also like to invite Councilmember Tipton to please come. We also have a resolution for him. Councilmember Tipton. Thank you for your many years of service to City Council, for always advocating for the quality of life in our community here in Greenfield, for fighting for affordable housing, economic development, and bringing more businesses into the community, and also your years of service as a planning commissioner and also as part of the fire district, and also being part of the boards representing the community. So thank you so much. And here we have this resolution on behalf of Senator Ana Caballero and Assemblymember Robert Rivas.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and congratulations, guys. All right, we'll move on to item I4, consideration of filling vacant city council seats. Staff report.
Good evening, Good evening, Mayor White and City Council. As you're aware, with the recent election, there is now a vacancy on the City Council. As discussed in the staff report, that vacancy is an at-large position. State law tells us that when a vacancy on a legislative body occurs, it should be filled to hold the office of the unexpired term of the council member whose seat was vacant. The current vacancy is in Mayor White's previous council member seat, which was in an at-large position that expires in November 2024. So this means that the individual who fills the vacancy will also hold an at-large position that expires in November 2024. So the City Council has two options to fill that vacancy. The first is to call a special election, and the second is to appoint a successor. A special election would be held at the next regularly established election date, and staff was informed by the County Elections Office that next regularly scheduled election is in March of 2024. So if council does decide to conduct a special election, the elected successor would only hold office from March of 2024 to November of 2024. And they wouldn't take their seat until March of 2024, which is approximately 15 months from now. In addition, the city is required to pay the cost of that special election. So the County Elections Office has estimated that this could cost the county anywhere between $41,000 and $118,000, depending on whether or not that special election was a standalone election, meaning the only election on the ballot. So due to the cost and the length of time required to hold the special election, we're recommending that the council appoint the successor to the city council. The law does not tell you how to appoint a successor, so really you have options to choose how that appointment is done. Two common approaches that we see is that either council members nominate potential successors, and then they vote by majority vote to choose one of those nominees. The other option would be to accept applications and then to interview those applicants in an open session. That's something that the city of Monterey is actually currently doing. So they've accepted applications, and then later this week, they're going to hold interviews of those applicants in open session, I believe on the 15th. And what they've done, and I'm just providing this as an example of how you could potentially do this process. They have created a list of 25 questions. So each applicant will have 3 minutes at the podium to give an introductory statement to the city council, just kind of introducing themselves. And then each council member will be permitted to ask each applicant one question from the prescribed list of 25 questions. Or if they chose, they could ask a follow-up question to something that the applicant has already stated, either in their introductory statement or in a response to another question. From there, after conducting all of the interviews, council would deliberate and then vote to select one of the applicants. So what we're asking tonight is for you to decide a couple of questions. The first is whether or not you would like to proceed with a special election or an appointment. And then if you do choose to appoint, would you like to nominate and then vote upon those nominations, or would you like to accept applications and conduct interviews? Or alternatively, you could select another method of appointing a successor. So staff is just looking for direction as to how you would like to proceed. And with that, I will return it to the mayor.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll move on to public comments. Is there any comments from the audience or via Zoom? I see one.
Hello. I think for this, I think we should open up to either an application or something, to give the opportunity for other residents, to fill the vacancy. That's my, thing. I think that would be the, the best thing, to go ahead and have somebody else, probably with different visions. Thank you.
Anyone else from the audience?
Understand. I don't care. Okay, so I think something like this shouldn't be taken lightly. A lot of consideration should be taken. I think the best idea from my perspective would be to put mailers in our water bills. And everybody could get an idea that there's actually an opening. And take applications for it. I know previously they've actually done it on the same night. But I don't think that'd be a good idea. One thing I should have touched on earlier, and I'm sorry that I didn't. Nelly, you ran for mayor. And there's this saying that I tell my players at the high school. Before you can succeed, you have to be willing to fail. And I give you credit for even stepping up, right? So, yeah, that's my 2 cents worth. So do what you want.
Thank you.
Name is John Huerta. I live at 1228 Avena Avenue. There's a couple things that are on my mind. First of all, I want to congratulate Bob White and council members Angela Antalon and Rachel Ortiz to the city council. I think secondly, the city has gone through now the approved electoral districts. And I think under the government code, the 36512, I fully understand that an at-large Mr. White was elected by all the voters in Greenfield. So that person can come from all the voters from Greenfield. But I'm just thinking about all the time and effort that the city has gone through with the approved electoral districts, which is going to finalize in the November election of 2024. So I'm thinking, if somebody is selected from outside District 4 where where Bob lives and is a representative of District 4, then it's kind of like we're almost going backwards instead of going forward. So those are my thoughts about the whole process of choosing somebody that potentially can come from outside the District 4. And then the third part is everything that is happening on this specific item is entirely up to the city council. And so, good luck with that. It's a tough decision. But I just wanted to come up and speak tonight towards this item. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I'd just like to remind everybody here that all the districts are covered except District 2, which is my district. So I think it needs to ride out into the 2024. But District 2 doesn't have a representative up here. So it ain't gonna be fair to bring in somebody from District 4 when you got nobody in District 2. So if your thinking is bringing somebody in from a district, it only behooves the city and makes sense that it's District 2 because it's unrepresented right now. Thank you.
Good evening again, Stephanie Garcia. So as we all know, you guys spent a lot of time and money with the demographer and the gentleman that helped us set up these district elections. And during that process, it was discussed, the sequencing of the elections. So that has been decided. It's been confirmed by the city attorney. And I think that you need to stick with that. You can't change the rules midstream. And I think one of the most important parts about doing it in a sequence fashion is we have two members that are at large. Councilmember Martinez, you represent the whole city, not just one district. And so this incoming appointee will have that same responsibility. And that will cover all of the districts, all of the city, and it helps us ease into this new district way of elections. So I think you need to stick to the rules you set and not change them midstream because certain people don't like how they ended up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else from the audience? Looks like we have some hand raised.
Nelson Ochoa.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Adele Ortiz, former resident of Greenfield. And earlier I missed the congratulations, but I would like to congratulate Rachel Ortiz. And I have no doubt that she will put her best foot forward each day for the better of the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris Pereira.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. My name is Chris Barrera, President of LULAC Council 2055. First of all, I would like to congratulate the new mayor and city council members. I am calling in regards to the vacant seat in District 4. I would like to suggest appointing somebody from District 4 and staying with district elections. That's what this council voted for. Move forward instead of backwards. Please remember, all of you represent all of the districts in Greenfield. Please work together and get past the division. The heart of the valley is counting on you, and so is District 4 residents as well. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Gabby Cerato.
Good evening. Whatever the city council decides, I'm not sure about the districts or anything, but I hope that one of your questions, or if you do decide to go and do a questionnaire, again, that you really thoroughly pick quality people that are not going to abuse their power like Ms. Martinez has. So again, I stress the importance of ethics, making sure that, you guys check the person, community, talk to the community, because, on the ground, you will hear the real person's perspective, different perspective. So whatever you choose, I hope that you guys really, really spend time and making sure that you guys elect a right person that's not going to be business as usual, that is going to be able to make the hard decisions. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? I understand there were some letters submitted to City Council regarding this item.
Yes, we received 3 letters.
Could we have those read into the record?
Dear Mayor Walker, even though it says Walker. I understand Andrew Tipton did not win his bid for re-election to your city council, which I feel is a direct result in the redistricting that your city has had to initiate. I also understand that there is a current vacancy which will need to be filled in the interim. If possible, I would highly recommend that he be considered to fill that vacancy. I have gotten to know and work with Drew on the Salinas Valley Recycle Board for the past 4 years, and in my opinion, he has the knowledge, leadership capabilities, and always has the best interest of our valley when he considers the various issues we all face, be it water, garbage, traffic, etc. He has served as the alternate vice president on this board for the past 2 years and was due to become the vice president in January of 2020. I hope that you or your successor will consider appointing Drew for the vacancy on your council, and best wishes to you as you move on to something new. Liz Silva, City Council Member in Gonzales. I'm writing in support of Drew Tipton's application to serve as council member for Greenfield. I've gotten to know Drew via the Salinas Valley Solid Waste Authority Board, which he and I serve on. Because of his strength as a board member, he is now serving as our alternative vice president. He is known on the board to be prepared, ask great questions, and does an overall fantastic job of representing Greenfield and the South Monterey County. I hope that can be taken into consideration as the Greenfield City Council makes their decision on this item. The Salinas Valley Solid Waste Authority is a crucial juncture, and it will be a tremendous asset to Greenfield if Drew is selected to continue to serve on council. Thank you, Robert Coleman, council member of King City and past mayor of King City. Honorable Mayor and City Council members. As a general manager and chief administrative officer for the Salinas Valley Solid Waste Authority, we like to offer our administration support for Andrew Tipton to be appointed to the vacant council seat tomorrow night. Mr. Tipton has been a great asset to the authority and taken on the added role of an executive officer for the board of directors as alternate vice president. He is a very well composed board member, offers well thought out suggestions and advice to staff, is always engaged and well prepared for all board meetings, and takes his leadership role in the authority with great respect for public service, staff, and the board. Since I've known Mr. Tipton, he has demonstrated a keen interest in our business of resource recovery and solid waste management. We regularly speak on these matters, and he is never afraid to ask for help or seek out higher understanding of the many complex regulatory and operational issues that guide our industry. During his tenure on our board, he has proactively participated in resolving many significant issues and helped formulate critical recommendations to the full board of directors with his fellow executive committee members. His historical knowledge and leadership is important to our agency, and we hope to see him continue on that role. As staff to the authority, we recommend Mr. Tipton be appointed to fill the vacancy so that he can continue his leadership role and advocacy for our agency and industry. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Sincerely, Patrick Matthews, General Manager of Salinas Valley Solid Waste Authority.
All right, thank you very much. We'll move to city council comments.
I will go first. I definitely think that everybody played their campaign how it went, and congratulations, Bob won. Rachel, you won your district. You had another write-in candidate as well who was wonderful. Angela and Drew went at it for one district. Angela came out on top. The voters selected her. So I think that the best thing is to move to our districts, regardless if we were at large, my seat and Bob's. I think we should be moving forward with at a district election, because there was a lot of confusion with community members that wanted to run and didn't get exactly the guidelines. A lot of them went to county thinking that it was a county thing, kind of like the school board. They didn't know that they had to come and talk to our city clerk. It was just a lot of confusion. And if we're going to be transitioning into district elections, then might as well just start educating the public and helping them along the way. So for me, I would say that we go into districts.
I'll go ahead and speak. I also agree. I've already had people questioning me about the districts and if I was their council person or so-and-so their council person. At this point, we are moving into district elections. Greenfield will be district within the next 2 years. I feel that this position should be filled as a district. We do have an at-large council person, Yaneli. But at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense if someone in my district or Rachel's district is also a council person when that is our district. I think that's when we start confusing our constituents and they don't know who, they're supposed to go to or anything like that. So that's my fact for you guys is, if we are moving Greenfield forward, we are moving Greenfield forward into the districts that we already have placed to be done by the next election.
Thank you.
Well, here's my 2 cents. I think that going into this district, you have a contract with already, and that seat was at large. I think that you need to keep it at that way, and let's follow suit. In 2 years, it will be district, and then whoever's going to run can run at that time. Right now, I think it's really impressive that people are writing letters for Drew and, expressing that, that he's going to actually hold very important committee seats that will help the city of Greenfield moving forward. And I think it's really important that we have that stability in the city in order to start moving forward and making good decisions. He asked a lot of good questions. He's very knowledgeable, and I think that that's what we need to be able to keep on moving forward. So that's my 2 cents.
All right, thank you very much. I think we should go at large. What we passed with, we went to district elections was a staged implementation of the program. We have 2 districts that are now represented, and we have 2 at large. I think the public can figure that out. Public is very sharp. That once we appoint this person, that would be an at-large person, and Councilwoman Martinez is also at large. The advantage of that being at large is the person can, represent everyone and not just be representing their individual districts. I think it makes a lot of sense to appoint someone like Drew, who has been serving for 4 years, just lost his seat to a very worthy opponent, and Councilwoman Untalon lost by less than 20 votes. I think it makes a lot of sense to, he has a lot of support in the community. People know him and support him. District elections are won and lost very closely. So there is a seat that is open. He's serving a lot of great roles for us in the county. On the Solid Waste Authority, he represents us on the broadband committee and does very well there. I mean, no one knows anything, knows it more than Drew does on that subject. He is in line to be president of the Solid Waste Authority, and Solid Waste Authority has a lot of big issues that are coming up, including appointing a new carrier for the next 20 years. So I think it would behoove us to appoint Drew to this open position. He's, as you know, you've served with him for 4 years. He is excellent on contracts. He does his homework. He asks questions. He's very knowledgeable about all the issues that we have going on right now, including our water, our wastewater, just everything that is, facing us coming up. All the infrastructure projects that we have going on. I would like to make a motion that we appoint Drew as to the open seat.
I second that.
Any comments before we call a vote? I have a motion on the table to appoint Drew to the position that is open, and I have a second. Can we do a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Ortiz,
Yes.
Councilmember Martinez,
No.
Councilmember Antalon,
No.
Mayor White.
Yes. All right. All right, then I think at this point, we need to move forward. I think we should go ahead and take applications for the position and open that up. I think it should be an open seat. That's what the law That's the law that we,
Question of clarification right now. If the council is making a motion to select somebody from the community that is not an elected official, then there should be other names mentioned if there is interest in the appointment. It's not fair that a member of the public who Drew Tipton is now, that there's only one motion. I don't think that's legal, and I wanted to bring it up to your legal counsel.
please.
The council is at liberty to nominate any eligible member of the public and vote. So they are not limited to just nominating one or three, or it's really at their discretion how they proceed with appointing somebody. So there is no illegality here.
Thank you very much. Do we need to decide whether it's an at-large position or on the applications, or how should we proceed with that?
So I think it's clear, but first, I think you should, by majority vote, determine that you would rather appoint than hold a special election.
Okay.
I think it sounds like that's the way you want to go, but it would be good to hear from the council to make sure that's the majority. And then from there, determine as a group how you want to proceed. And that can be accepting applications from the community at large, or that could be accepting applications from one district. It's really open-ended.
Okay.
Sorry, can I get clarifications again? Because I'm distracted with Paul Mugen recording people in the back. Can you go ahead and repeat that again?
Sure. So I suggest that the first step the council takes is determining whether or not you want to appoint the vacancy or hold a special election, which it sounds to me like that's clear, but if each of you could express that, it would be clear to everybody that you would prefer to appoint. And then from there really are no rules as to how you appoint. You just have to come to some consensus, or at least a majority have to determine how you would like to appoint the position. So you can accept applications from the community at large. The only eligibility requirements is that they're over 18 years old or 18 years old or older and live in the city of Greenfield. You can decide that you want those applications to come from a particular district. It really is pretty open-ended for council. The challenge is just there needs to be a majority to give staff direction how to proceed.
Okay, so the first step would be to basically discuss how we would want to do it, whether we are going to accept applications and appoint that way, or the special election. Okay.
I think it makes a lot of sense. Just go ahead and appoint to go ahead and receive applications.
I agree.
Would somebody like to make that motion?
Do we make that motion?
It's not required, so
Yeah.
just hearing that consensus is
Okay.
enough.
Very good. Then I think we also now need to discuss whether we're doing it at large or whether we're doing by district. I think personally, we need to do at large. That's what we agreed to when we passed to move to district elections. The voters had voted on 2 districts and have selected, and in 2 years, they'll vote on the other 2 and select those. I think that just makes perfect sense to open it up to the whole community.
I don't agree. I don't agree. I feel that, everything was finalized before we knew that you would run for, the open mayor seat, and that seat would be available. So with all, just progressing Greenfield forward, we're going to districts. I believe that this seat should be districts. Our voters are understanding that they're gonna have their one person that they go to and seek out. And not just that, but it's holding ourselves accountable as the council people for those districts. So if my district is failing, that's on me. You know, if, I feel like if we keep it at large, we're kind of just we're moving backwards. We're moving the city backwards.
If I may clarify, so the position will be at large. But where you appoint the person from is at your discretion. So the law says the appointment will be whatever the vacancy is. So the vacancy is at large, expiring in November 2024. However, you could choose to make the appointment from a resident that lives in the open district, if that makes sense.
So we could even open it for like the District 2 and 4. Like residents from District 2 and 4.
Yeah, you could open it from residents from District 1 and 3. Because it is really, once they're seated, they will be an at-large position. It's really just how the council wants to proceed.
So regardless of where they're from, they're
It'll
going to
be
be an
at-large.
at-large position.
Yeah.
But I agree with Angela, appointing somebody from District 4 to be clear, and so our legal counsel, Ms. Thompson, can understand. I would like to go ahead and make a motion to appoint somebody, or at least take applications from District 4.
That's your motion?
That's my motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion on the table. All those, I think we need a roll call vote on this, please.
Councilmember Ortiz,
No.
Councilmember Martinez,
Yes.
Councilmember Ansalon,
Yes.
Mayor White.
No. I don't think it's wrong to take applications from that district, but I think we need to open it up to the whole city. Not just one small part of the city for an at-large seat.
So here's my opinion. A contract is a contract. It's open, it's at large. And basically, anybody can apply. If we choose to, if a really good person comes from District 4 and we all agree, then we vote for them and then they take the seat. Maybe somebody who's not qualified is going to come from District 4. Maybe they're going to come from District 1, District 2, District 3. And then we appoint them. But you can't say right now, I'm only going to take it from here. Maybe nobody will even apply. Maybe that person wouldn't even be qualified to be up here. So I'm going to have to say no on everything until, I think it needs to be at large. And we're going to stick to the contract that was placed to the people.
Okay, going back to our conversation and appointees, and like Mr. Bob had nominated Tipton because of the 3 emails that was received, that to clarify, they're not Greenfield residents, they're from his Salinas Valley Waste Authority team, including the general manager. I was hoping for Kimberly Craig or Rocha to also send an email, but they didn't. So then you basically gave his name, right? Mayor White. So then I'll give the name to nominate Mr. John Huerta for our vacant seat. So that's my motion at the table.
I'll second.
Discussion out there. Would you like to say anything on that, Rachel?
We're moving backwards again, so.
I respect John. He's my neighbor. I've known him for all my life. But I don't think that's moving forward when the voters a few years ago voted to not have him represent them. I think that would be a move backwards. If I don't think it's up to the 4 of us to overturn what the voters approved just a few years ago. I think if John wants to run in a couple of years when this seat opens up and it gets elected, that's one thing. But I don't think we 4 should be appointing him to a position on council when the voters voted not to have him on city council.
But you stating that is also stating like we've discussed going to, you're saying it's going backwards, right? To elect him. He's knowledgeable. He knows a lot. He has a lot of great contacts. It's the same pretty much situation that you guys are vouching for Tipton. We're saying we're trying to move forward by electing these people in the certain districts for those district representations. Like it's kind of contradicting because you're saying like, oh, the voters took them out a couple years ago, but yet like this year we went to districts. If we continue to do it at large, like it's going backwards. You said we're going backwards if we get John in. This is going backwards by not having representations in second or fourth district.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is,
Can we just go with our motion in the table? I mean, you already made it clear, so let's just
Okay.
go ahead and take that motion. Second,
there's been motion
Roll
in a
call.
second. Let's take a roll call vote.
Councilmember Ortiz,
No.
Councilmember Martinez,
yes.
Councilmember Antoine,
Yes.
and Mayor White.
No. All right.
Okay, so this is getting interesting. Then I'm gonna throw my motion since you already gave us an excuse about John, Mayor White. So then I'm gonna go ahead and nominate Ms. Beatriz Diaz for this vacant seat. So that's my motion at the table.
Okay. We have a second on that motion.
I'll second.
It's been motioned and second. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Ortiz,
No.
Councilmember Martinez,
Yes.
Councilmember Antoine,
Yes.
Mayor White.
No. All right. I think we've got to take applications. I think we need to open it up to the public as a whole. And if we end up with somebody from District 4, that's fine. But I think we need to move this ship forward a little bit. And I think we need to at least agree to take applications at large.
Is that your motion?
That's my motion. Do I hear a second on that motion?
I second that.
I need a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Ortiz,
Yes.
Councilmember Martinez,
No.
Councilmember Antoine,
No.
We're here already having this conversation, so why not? Bob, you wanted at large. We had nominated Ms. Diaz, who's at large. What was the excuse behind not having her at the table?
I don't have anything against B. She's very active in the community, but I think we need to now, if we're not going with the person who is experienced on council recently, I think we need to open it up to the public as a whole.
So just for clarification, you're saying if it isn't Tipton, then you don't want anybody else, pretty much. That's
No,
what you're
I'm
saying.
not saying that.
You said the experienced council member. Just clarifying,
I said
just keeping it
experience.
for the record.
Mr. Tipton lost by less than 20 votes. Mr. Huerta was recalled. There's a big difference. There's a big difference.
It's a totally different situation.
I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to open up the application process to those in District 2 and District 4 that are not represented at this time. And that's my motion.
Second,
Been moved in second. Any comments? Then I'd like to call a roll call vote, please.
No.
Councilmember Martinez,
yes.
Councilmember Antoine,
Yes.
Mayor White.
No. Okay. why are you, can I just ask a question as in general, why are you opposed to opening it up to the whole city? I mean, if it turns out that, if it turns out that the person comes from one of the two districts that are now not represented individually, that's all well and good, but it, it should be open to all the districts at this point.
You do realize that there's 4 of us up here. It's gonna take 3 of us to put somebody
To move
on the
this forward.
seat.
Yes.
So regardless whether they're in 4, 3, 2, 1, 10, it doesn't really matter. When the person that we feel should be to fill that seat, it's gonna take 3 of us to put him there. So even if you do 2 and 4, and Bob and I don't agree with that, or we don't, we don't want that person up, not that we don't want that person, but we don't feel that they're qualified, we're gonna say no, so we're right back to square one again. So just leave it open, and it's still gonna take 3 of you. Who knows, somebody from 4 may come and you 2 say yes, and then I say, hey, you know what, that's a great person, and I say yes. There you go, the person's appointed. Maybe it's not me, maybe it's Bob. Maybe Bob turns around and says, well, you know what, I'm agreed. Maybe all 4 of us agree on it. And then here we go, we're on our way to moving forward. But right now, there's a lot of talk about moving forward, but.
And that's what
we're
we're
at a
trying to
standstill
do.
again.
Like moving Greenfield forward is districts.
In-
That's why I'm
in
saying.
2 years, like the contract said, there's contracts, there's verbal. There's a lot of different ways to look at things. This is a contract that all of you went before me, went into an agreement. You need to hold by your contract. Simple as that.
No, my thing is, I just find it very interesting that you keep on talking and preaching about at large, but then again, you get a candidate at large, Ms. Diaz, and you couldn't even give a perfectly excuse why wouldn't you want to appoint her to the seat? It's because let's be transparent. You guys have somebody in mind. You guys have a hidden agenda. We talk about moving the city forward. We talk about all this. All we want is that you have a hidden agenda. You have somebody in mind that you want in this seat. We're throwing names left and right, and you guys don't want them. You guys keep on giving the excuse at large. You already have a member at large, but then again, you do not vote. You do not want that member.
I find that really offensive.
Well, you
that
can find it
think
however
that
you
have-
want,
that-
council member.
That we have an agenda, because you know what? That's not what we're here for. We all spoke in the
Nope.
beginning about
We're moving
being
forward.
transparent, moving forward. Well, I'm not interrupting you.
Please
So,
don't interrupt from the audience.
all I'm saying is that we need to. Can somebody call a point of order? Because
Please.
I'm not interrupting anybody out, so.
Councilwoman is speaking, please hold your comments. Go ahead, Councilwoman Ortiz.
I find it offensive to be accused of having an agenda. I think there's a lot of qualified people in the city of Greenfield. And if we don't agree on Drew, then fine, we don't agree on Drew. If we don't agree on B, then we don't agree on B. Then we keep on looking and we find somebody and we do it at large like the contract said. That's it.
I totally agree. I think it needs to be, should take applications at large. If it ends up the person is from one of those two districts, that's fine. But at this point, we need to move forward. And I proposed Mr. Tipton because he was a logical choice. And I thought he made a lot of sense for the community, but if he did not get approved, then let's open it up and see who else is out there.
I'm not going at large, so we could be here all night if you want.
Well, if you don't mind my stomach growling, I can sit here too. Okay, let's do it.
All due respect, why are we opposed to going at large as far as applications are concerned?
That's great. I would ask you the same question. Why are you opposed with the positions that were, or the persons that we're bringing forward? If it isn't Tipton, why are you opposed to the others?
Because
Why
I
are
would
you
need to,
opposed to
I would
Tipton?
need to see an application. I know Drew personally. I served on here for 4 years with him, as you did. And I know he would have made a great, he makes a great council person. And I think we would need to go out to the public and receive applications.
I have a question. Why are you opposed to Tipton but not Bertha?
Why am I opposed to who?
What's the difference? I mean, you're talking about us being opposed to B or John, but yet you're not saying why you're opposed to Tipton.
I already said it. Basically, Tipton ran his campaign. He lost against Angela. Angela is the winner. That's basically what I'm saying. I worked with him. I served with him. I'm not saying, oh, he was a bad person. No, he lost. Angela won.
Okay, and you know what? And I accept that. I accept that.
So let's open it up and let's see if we can, who else we can find out there, see who the qualified candidates are.
How about if I make a motion for the candidate that was running in Rachel's district, Ms. Maria Alvarado? Make a motion that we appoint her as the vacant seat. So that's my motion at the table.
Is there a second for that motion?
Okay, my motion dies.
So the motion dies. At the risk of repeating myself, I think we need to open it up to all possible districts and see who we find and take applications, review the applications, do interviews if that's the choice of the council. But we need to open it up and see who's out there. Regardless of who we choose, the person is an at-large representative.
Okay, so you want applications. So do you want to go with District 2 and 4 for applications?
No, I would like to open it up completely.
Just checking, Bob, just checking.
What's the harm in opening it up completely? If
Let's be
whoever-
open and
whoever
transparent. Let's open it
applies,
up.
If you don't vote for them, then they don't get seated anyway. So what's the harm? What's the harm in opening it up completely? Doesn't make sense to me. Because even if two people from at large, that aren't in District 4 and maybe I like them, Bob doesn't like them and you two do. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense at all. It's still going to take 3 of us. Preferably 4 that we all agree upon something. That would be kind of nice.
Agree.
Any more thoughts from either one of you as far as opening it up to all the whole city?
I still stand my ground. No. District 2, District 4.
I truly don't see the harm in opening it up to the whole city. If the person can come from wherever. Councilwoman Untulan, what do you think?
I think that representation needs to be in District 2 and 4. And if they are from District 2 and 4, the representation will be there, whether they're at large or not. That's my thoughts. I think Councilwoman Ortiz will take care of her district as I will take care of mine.
Legal counsel, do you have any advice for us? It appears we're at impasse here.
My only guidance is that the city council is required to either appoint or proceed with a special election in 60 days from the date of the vacancy. And today is the date of the vacancy. That's when you vacated your council person, excuse me, seat. So you do have 60 days to appoint or proceed with special election. Otherwise, it's entirely up to the council how we proceed.
So we don't have to make a decision tonight? Is that what you're
No.
saying?
No.
Okay.
What does 60 days fall on?
Let me see. Okay. So February 11th.
February 11th. Are we
Ron
able to
just
take
said-
any comments from the audience now, or?
You can open it up for public comment again. You would just be required to hear all of
Okay,
the public comment.
I'll open it up for public comment.
Okay, I'm really very sorry to see this for so many people who have mentioned that they want to be united and not divided. This display of division is very unsettling. But my question is, if you go to a special election that can cost up to $120,000, is the special election going to be for an at-large seat?
Yes.
Then what are we doing, kids?
The problem with that too is though that the election's not for another year, and it would only be for, it would be in 2024 before we'd be a four-person council until then.
So we're basically at risk of spending up to $100,000 and having somebody elected for 6 months,
Correct.
when all I ever hear about is fix 12th Street. We need this, we need that in the city, but we're willing to possibly go that far.
How much is the amount exactly, Ms. Thompson?
So the elections office gave an estimate of 41,000 from at the low end to 118,000. Well, it's nearly 119,000 at the high end. And the difference is whether or not, if this were the only item on the ballot, you would pay the higher amount. If there were other items on the ballot that you were splitting with other jurisdictions, it would be toward the lower end.
And we still have people on, so.
Well, just when I thought I was out, they may have pulled me back in. If there is a special election, I'm running. Good night, everybody.
A great welcoming for you, Bob.
Breaking me in quickly.
I find it ironic that Councilperson Ortiz is going on and on. I remember when you weren't on the council, you were one of the people that was the most vociferous out here, accusing council people up there of inappropriate actions. And now that you're up there, it's like, well, do the right thing. You're in a position now to do the right thing. It's like, calm the city, right? Do the right thing. I can promise you something, that your tenure up there is going to be very arduous, very, very arduous. Because like I said previously, when you were a member of the audience, you were one of the loudest people accusing this one city council person that you went after her consistently for whatever little reason. And now that you're up there, trust me, you know what they say about paybacks? Yeah, it's gonna be hard on you. Well, I'm sure you can stand up to it. I wish you luck. I really do, because you're gonna need it. Do the right thing for the community, guys. I mean, it's like, we're gonna need another person up there. There's people out here who are qualified. And Mayor, he's like assistant that we put Tipton on there. Former company. He lost to Councilperson Antoine. Someone said, well, he only lost by 20 votes or whatever. Doesn't matter. It's like whether it's 1 or 100, a loss is a loss. And there are people out here who are just as qualified as him, if not more. But for whatever reason, I'm not accusing anyone of having an agenda. I would not do that. But maybe it's personal feelings, okay? So look at the bigger picture. Do what's best for the community, not what's best for one individual. Yeah, okay, so he's qualified to do a lot of different things. Well, so are the people in the audience. It's like we're back to where we started, right? We're going backwards. We are. Okay. Do the right thing, all right?
Thank you for your comment.
Oh my God, I don't even know how to start. I'm really disappointed at you, Bob. I thought you could do better than this. But anyways, I can clearly remember the day that you stood up there and and Lance, they already had a plan. And I think that's what's working right now between you and Rachel. When you were sitting up there and Lance appointed you, you never came to the meetings, Rachel. How many times did you come to the meetings? You know, so come on, we need to move forward. District 4 should be on the map, it's on the map and should be going forward. It's really ridiculous that we're fighting back and forth, you know, and Rachel, you of all people talk all this, you know, think that you know everything. You don't because you haven't been on council. This is your first time. And my thing is, stay off social media. Do you remember all the bad knocking on my family, on some council members? It's ridiculous. You know, I wish I could go ahead and say what you said, but I got pictures of it if you still want to see it, if you don't remember. Or if you can't hear, so you have 45% hearing. Thank you.
Let's don't go into personal attacks, please.
This is my town too. Born and raised here. So you guys want to play a politics game? Been there, done that. Don't want to do it. But Councilwoman Altawan and Councilwoman Martinez are right. Each district needs to be represented. Hate to say it, done it in the Marine Corps, did it in the American Legion. My district needs to be represented. Who was the person they called? This guy. Each district needs to be represented properly and the right way. And there's always a person there that needs to be, yes, it's gonna be a person that we probably don't like. This ain't this ain't a person to be like. I was that person too. I don't need to be like, I just need to do my job. So yeah, enough of this bickering, enough of this all of this stuff. Yes, vote on the right thing. The right thing is to represent each district properly. Doesn't matter if it's abstain or whatever. It doesn't matter if it's open. Let it be. But District 2 and 4 need to be represented, plain and simple. And do it right, Bob. You ought to know that. Hey, you guys are voting against each other. You guys want to be united? It's a long road to be united. Trust me. Myself and Mr. Michael Bloom, we've done it. We've been there. Keeping our veterans together is a hard story. So, you guys need help? Come and talk to us. We'll put you guys in the right direction.
Are you District 2 or 4?
I'll do it. Got enough on my plate. Thank you.
So I went outside and I was taking a phone call and a member of the public advised me that my name came up and something about losing election or not having support from the community. I'll be like Lance. I grew up with his brother Trevor. He was pretty cool. I was 6-1 in elections in Greenfield, the city of Greenfield. I know the community pretty well. I'm not here to talk about myself. I just appreciate, I stepped out and my name was mentioned about losing elections. I don't think that's cool. I mean, come on. I mean, we're all men and women here. I mean, so, but anyway, I'm making a public comment. I got 3 minutes. I agree with Mr. Venegas. It's time to just do what we're going to do because just like my comment earlier, we're transitioning to electoral districts. And I think we need to follow that. I didn't appreciate that there was a motion and a second for a member of the public. It's not on the agenda. So how do you do that? I don't know. I don't know if you have been in local government, legal attorney, but I don't think you can do that just with my experience. So that might be an infraction. So I just wanted to note that because I never allowed that when I was mayor. So thank you very much.
Michael Bloom. I would just suggest instead of using this term loser, why don't we just talk about the runners up? You were a runner-up, director. Let's use runner-up.
We had a similar situation back in 2018 when I first ran for council and Drew and I both won the seats and there was an open seat because Lance won the mayor position. Irene Garcia was third runner-up. She was the second runner-up. And that seat, I suggested that we appoint her to that seat because she was the third highest out of 5 people who ran that time. And it was shot down real quick. So it's, at the time, Mayor Walker suggested that we open applications and that's what we went with, which I feel that's what we should be doing, right? If we're kind of following in the footsteps of 2018. But I really feel that representation is needed. Representation moving forward for Greenfield is needed. I want to see that people, even if they are at large, if they're elected at large, even if Yaneli is at large, she won't need to focus on my district because that is my district. She won't need to focus on Councilwoman Ortiz's district because that is her district. And I'm sure she's going to do great, supporting her district. So that is moving the city forward, whether it's at large or not. I would really hope that person that fills that seat is from the districts that are not represented yet. And with our help, of course, because it's going to be an open district, whatever district is, doesn't have that full representation, we as a council will pick up the slack. But it's very important that we move forward and not backwards. And I know that we're completely divided right now, and for whatever reasons you have, and I don't discredit Drew at all. Like I've said before many times, I respect anybody that sits up here because it's not an easy job. It's very hard. It's very time consuming. It's a thankless job and you get a lot of hate from it. A lot of people who are trolls online, a lot of people who think that you could snap your fingers and make everything better, and you can't. It takes a council, it takes a city manager, it takes the city employees to get things done. So I'm really hoping that you guys really are listening to what I'm saying and why I'm saying it has to be 2 or 4 to be represented, and not just already decided in your head, this is what I want and this is what I'm going to go with. You're hearing it from our community right here. They feel the same way. Because whether that person is at large or not, if they come from District 2 or 4, that district that they come from is going to be taken better care of.
But if we open it up and somebody from one of the other districts who is a qualified candidate gets approved, that person can serve. I think it doesn't hurt to open it up and see who we get. I mean, if it ends up being from 2 or 4, I'm all for that. That's fine. But I think we need to open it up for applications from all the districts.
Mayor, we have 2 other people on Zoom.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Comments on Zoom.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Andrew Sandoval.
Hello, my name is Andrew Sandoval. I recently been appointed as the California State Chair for LULAC Redistricting Committee. And being the original writer of the demand letter to move towards district elections, I am caught off guard at what's happening here. You know, Mr. White, you voted in favor of district elections and moved the city of Greenfield forward. You know, a step backwards doesn't make any sense to me. You know, we've already consulted our legal counsel about possible action if the city decides to move backwards instead of forwards. And I just want to let you know that the community deserves representation from every district. And so I would recommend that this city council make a motion to open the application processes to residents of District 4 and try to find somebody from the community to serve. We've heard about qualifications and experiences, but the reality is at some point, all of you there had no experience in city government, and you've learned and you've excelled. And I think allowing that representation from District 4 would empower the community and avoid what appears to me to be a movida and not a transparent process in appointing somebody. So I hope that you take these comments very seriously. And like I said, I'd encourage the council to make a motion to open the application process to save the taxpayers money instead of an election, to see if you could come to a consensus on a candidate to represent District 4. And if not, you know, unfortunately, you'll incur the cost of an election. And even then, I'd encourage you to make sure that's done by district elections. Thank you.
Gabby Cerrato.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Yeah, so I completely oppose Beatriz Diaz because she has publicly, stood there in their public comment, calling my family an act and fake, and how disrespectful can you be to an elderly woman? And on the basis of that, we're talking about ethics. And we're talking about re-electing somebody that got recalled. I don't know him, personally, but if you got recalled, that's like your ethics. We want somebody with morals. LULAC, you need to check your girl and really, again, I'm a Chicana and I'm proud. And I think that would, again, we're talking about ethics. And now I see, Angela, your moves. Clearly, you guys have movidas. Talking about movidas, you and Martinez, I'm coming for you, girl. I'm going to make sure that legally, everything that I've been saying, it goes public, because I need justice. My mom needs justice. What you're doing,
Point
you're
of order.
Yeah,
Point of order.
Please stop personal attacks. And let's stay on track.
I'm talking about legally, when you defend somebody. I
We're talking
apologize.
about a position, appointment, point of order.
But you are stopping. People are saying, oh, blaming it on Bob and blaming it on the new council, when clearly you guys you have a movida. Beatriz is your BFF. She has stood over and over to defend you. Why would we bring her on when you're in question, when you're under investigation, when you are going to go to court for $18,000 that you owed?
Please stay on topic.
Okay, well, I'm just talking about ethics and connections. You guys are talking about, why don't you blame it on these two women, or these, again, the council, Bob and the other councilwoman, this is not about them. This is about clearly political move for you two and LULAC. Clearly. And I'm just gonna say it because I'm all about honesty. So I don't think that Beatrice, based on her behavior, her past behavior, should be appointed. And I'm sorry, the other person recalled, I'm sorry, but that's not ethical. So.
Thank you for your comments. All right, we need to talk about this some more, I think. What is the harm in opening it up? And if we end up with a candidate from those two districts, that's fine. But I think let's just open it up and push this down the road, and we can discuss it once we see who the actual candidates are.
I'm still sticking to district. That's my decision.
Councilwoman Untalon, do you have any other comments?
I do not. I've already said what I feel. Greenfield needs the district representations.
Legal counsel, can we move this item on and bring it back?
You can move to it, right, to a next meeting or to a date certain or a date uncertain for that matter.
Okay, what's the process to do that?
Just make a motion.
I make a motion, we move this item on to the next meeting and move on to the next item. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Roll call vote, please, Ann.
Councilmember Ortiz,
Yes.
Councilmember Martinez,
No.
Councilmember Alcalon,
I'm gonna say yes.
Mayor White.
Yes. Thank you. Motion approved. All right, let's go to I5, a resolution of the City Council, City of Greenfield, authorizing the reappointment of Cynthia Zavala to the Greenfield Planning Commission for a 3-year term expiring December 2025. Staff report, please.
So we received a letter for reappointment from Cynthia Savala. Her term ends December 31st of this year. She's been on planning commission, I believe, 2 years, 3? Oh, 1 year. I'm sorry, 1 year. She filled in an unexpired position. So up for you is consideration to appoint her for a 3-year term.
Right. Any public comments on this? Can I get a motion to approve? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Mayor. Gotta remember that one, right? As far as on this one, I think, was the public aware of putting applications, or we're just gonna go ahead and, get her in there again, or what? Was it open to the public? Mr. Wood? Anybody?
They generally are not open unless there is no one seeking reappointment.
So we don't need to open it to the public in case anybody wants to go ahead and apply? Am I understanding right?
And to be honest, not sure of the city process. It's not a legal process. It's, the city may just have a particular appointment process for the planning commission. So I don't know if Paul Mugen is still here. He might be able to answer that question.
Well, I think that the public, the residents should be given a chance to, to apply or something. Thank you.
Good evening again. I think if you look at past years of how this process has gone, a reappointment is somewhat a given for a sitting planning commissioner. It's happened time and time again. When it has gone out to the public before, it's due to a resignation or an opening of some sort. And as Ms. Zavala's colleague, I would really like her to stay on. She has done excellent work and we are a good team. And I hope you reappoint her tonight so that we have a lot of work on the table coming forward, and I'd like to do that uninterrupted. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other comments? Nothing on Zoom? Council comments?
My comment is, I think it should be open to the public because there's a lot of other members. I had a lot of phone calls, not only regarding the vacancy that people were disturbed, but also with the planning commission. We need to change the way we do things in the city. We need to be able to open it up and let others try to apply and be part of the planning commission, because I know that's the base where a lot of people want to start to see whether or not they're capable for the next challenge, which is the council. So for me, it should have been open to the general public, not just because that one commissioner wants to reapply. I think every other community member should be given that exact opportunity, because of right now, I have 3 people that wish to be in the planning commission. That is my comment.
Any other comments from the council?
I believe I spoke on this the last time we appointed Ms. Zavala to the Planning Commission about taking applications, because I don't believe a lot of people knew about it. And I really think that that's something that we need to put in writing if we have to, that every position, anytime a position on the Planning Commission opens, that it is open to the public and they are made aware. Because we talk about wanting to get other people involved, but yet we're not giving them the information to do so. So I do agree that that position should be opened. But I do know that, Ms. Zavala has dedicated her time and she doesn't have a lot because she's also a coach too and everything. So she does what she can and has been sitting on it for a year and she's devoted to it. So I applaud her for wanting to continue her work on that board. But I do believe that when these positions open, it should be open to the community by applications.
Rachel, do you have any comments?
I think after going forward, probably yes, I agree with Councilmember Antoine that it should be open to the public so other people can apply. But at the same time, Cynthia's been on there a year, and any job, any position, your first year, you're barely getting your feet wet. You're starting to understand procedures and policies. And I think in all fairness to her, that she should be given the opportunity to continue on. And a year is kind of nothing, it's like I said, getting your feet wet. And I think she should be given the opportunity to continue on and learn more. And she's committed to the position. And I think that that's really important for our city.
I would agree. And this group, the 3 of us up here, did approve her just a year ago. I think anyone who puts their name forward like that and has been serving, I think we owe it to her to go ahead and approve it. If we want to change the rules on future appointments, I think that's a possibility. But at this point, I think we should go ahead and approve her. And I will entertain a motion on this item.
Oh, she wants to speak.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Good evening, council. Yes, I was appointed last year and I was the only one, it was open to the public. And I was the only one that applied in a timely manner. No one else applied. Everyone had the opportunity to apply. So I'm here again. I want to come back. I've been doing it for a year. I'm learning a lot. I like it. And I hope to have another term with Planning Commission. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion on this item.
I second that.
No, I need the
Oh,
motion.
sorry.
I need the motion.
Oh.
go ahead and just make a motion to approve or deny.
I make a motion to approve Cynthia Zavala being appointed to Planning Commission.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Can we do a roll call vote, please, Ann?
Member B,
Yes.
Member Martin,
No.
Member Angela,
Yes.
Mayor White.
Yes. All right, we have a motion and it's approved. We'll move on to item I6. Resolution of the City Council, City of Greenfield approving the memorandum of understanding between the City of Greenfield and Greenfield Police Non-Sworn Association International Union of Operating Engineers, local number 3. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Mayor White. The item before you is a memorandum of understanding between the City of Greenfield and the Operating Engineers Local Number 3. They consists of the non-sworn police employees. This is the first agreement with this group. It's composed of formerly non-represented employees. And it's modeled after a combination of the SEIU agreement that we currently have and some aspects of the Police Officers Association. It's mostly related to equipment and police officer type of duties that they do. The benefits are similar to all the other groups. The only change that we've made, excuse me, in this entire agreement from the last time you saw it was the salary schedule. We had the salary schedule that you saw in November had a 4% increase, but the terms of the agreement call for a matching of between 3% and 5%, a matching of the COLA for the San Francisco Bay Area, and that number happened to be 4.1%. So we'd make a small adjustment to that, and that's why that's in this. That concludes my staff report. I'll take any questions.
All right. Any public comments on this? I6, please. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll motion. I'm sorry. I just drew a blank.
Okay. And a second, please.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, ladies. All right, brief reports on conferences, seminars, and meetings attended by mayor and city council. League of Cities Monterey Bay Division.
I'm not, yeah, we haven't had one. I think now it's quarterly instead of.
Okay. TAMC, Transportation Agency for Monterey County. I attended that meeting on December the 7th. We talked about the Salinas plan for the safe routes to school. They have their plan in place, and I think we're looking at a $3 million situation there. So I think we might want to review that one a little bit and take a good look, when it comes to ours. Association of Monterey Bay Area Governments. Council, all right. Salinas Valley Solid Waste Authority. I understand there's a meeting on December the 15th. Our Mr. Tipton was on that committee. I will attend that meeting as the alternate. Monterey Salinas Transit.
What I could report is that, how I mentioned in the past meetings regarding our better bus transit system that's changing. We've been getting a lot of feedback, not the best, because a lot of people are not happy with their routes changing, with buses and lines disappearing. But the biggest issue is how do we as MST continue to have all these routes if we don't have drivers? There's been an issue with drivers, not just here, it's nationwide. From what I've heard in other conferences, they're all dealing with the same thing. So trying to make sure that we had the best routes, we analyzed and we had options and we met with cities. And I know Paul was in one of the meetings that we had with Michelle from MST. And so the best thing was, okay, how are we going to be able to shift the local MST call in Greenfield that everybody knows. Soledad has one, King City has one. And so they met with us, right, Paul? And I know that they're finalizing the route itself. So within the city of Greenfield, we have line 23 that everybody knows that comes and goes through Salinas to King City. Now we're gonna have routes within the city that's gonna try to make sure that we capture the areas where we have the highest ridership. So that's gonna be transitioning in the next couple of years. I believe around 2024, it's gonna happen in Greenfield. But King City just kicked off theirs this week. On Monday, we had an MST meeting and Mayor Labar was able to report how exciting it was because within it, King City itself, they have a little mini route. And so that's helping a lot of community members because MST was one of our highest buses used in Greenfield. And even at one point, Paul and I had the conversation with MST if we were able to get another one because Greenfield had the highest amount of callers. And a lot of those callers were actually moms that wanted the transition or the transportation for their children, but that wasn't helping the senior citizens. It wasn't helping getting those folks to their clinics and back and forth. So all these cities were having these conversations, but our conversation specifically for Greenfield was, we need more. We have a high demand, but obviously they can't cater to us more than other cities. But for right now, that is what's being in place. King City just started theirs. So they're kind of like the pilot program for what's going to be happening to us. So if you hear any concerns from your public, please let them know to, or forward them to me. I could get them in contact with Carl. But I know for our meeting on Monday, we got a lot of pushback from people that said, hey, all of a sudden my bus line is missing, or you cut back the hours. They're not happy, but the reality of things is that we don't have drivers. So if you know of anybody that wants to drive a bus and wants to go through the academy and do it, please send them to MST, because if not, we're going to continue losing more lines as we speak.
Okay. Thank you. Monterey County Mayors Association. I haven't attended those, so. Salinas Valley Mayor's Managers Group. I attended on behalf of Mayor Walker on November 28th. There was a presentation on a limitless program for young women in Monterey County that was given by a young person there. It's something that's available in South County. Also, we discussed quite a bit about the contract that's going to be coming. It's a 20-year contract. We're going to have to decide about a service provider for Greenfield, and so that will be coming to us sometime next year. So
Trash hauling contract, right?
right. Right. That concludes that. City Attorney report, please.
I have nothing to report.
City Manager report.
Nothing from me.
All right. Well, with that, we will adjourn tonight's meeting. Thank you very much for attending.